All right, boys and girls, we're waiting for this slide presentation to go in present mode. All righty, so this one is on subject-verb agreement. Your subject is your who or your what, and your verb is what are they doing. And these two things have to agree, okay? So how do I make sure my subject and verbs agree? And I want to make sure that they agree. So we're going to answer this question right here. And then we're going to be able to do this right here, okay? Let's take this sentence. The mouse eats cheese. We have a who, the mouse. We have a what the mouse is doing, eating cheese. So we have a complete sentence here. We've checked those boxes, subject and a verb. Okay. All right. The mouse is the subject. The mouse is one noun. Okay. So one noun is called a singular noun, and two or more nouns is a plural. In this case, mouse is a singular noun. There is only one mouse. We wouldn't say the mouse eat cheese. We say the mouse eats cheese. So if you take a look at the mouse and the word eat, if we're talking about one mouse, our verb has to have an S on it. You might say, but that makes it plural when you add an S. It doesn't actually. It makes it singular. Verbs are opposite of nouns. Let's look at the correct sentence. The mouse eats cheese. This is a singular subject. This is a singular verb. So singular verbs have an S on them. Let's look at these two sentences. The dog barks. The cats meow. What do you notice about these sentences? Well, I noticed that the dog is singular. There's only one dog. And he barks. Do you see this S on here? Because this one doesn't have an S. This one does. So it's kind of like the opposite. Dog barks. Cats meow. Oh, this one, the subject or the noun has the S on it, but the verb does not. So they're opposite of each other. If you put an S on your subject, your verb will not have an S. If you put no S on your subject, then your verb will have an S. Here's another one. The fish and turtle swim quietly. Well, fish doesn't have an S, and turtle doesn't have an S. But we know these are two things. So just because we don't have an S on them, we're talking about two animals. So there we would say fish and turtle swim. One of these is supposed to have an S on it because these are considered plural. Two things. This one will not have an S on it. We wouldn't say the fish and turtle swims quietly. We look at these sentences. The child jumps over the fence. The child is one. This is singular. So therefore our verb must have an S on it. The children. Children is a bunch of kids. That's plural. It's more than one. So then we wouldn't have an S over here. Even though we don't have an S on this children, we don't say children's unless we're talking about possessive. But when we're talking about a bunch of childs, we call them children. So this is plural, so this has to be singular. It's actually plural with no S. I shouldn't say singular. Always make sure that your subject and verb agree so that your sentence makes sense. All right. The title of this one is to S or not to S. Kind of funny, huh? When you have a singular subject, one person, one place, and one thing. So singular means one. You often add an S to the end of the verb. Okay, so let's look at these real quick. One subject, the boy. That is one person, runs. We've added an S to our verb. The store, that is one place, opens. There's our S on our verb. The cat, one animal, one thing, scratches. There's our S on our verb. The cow eats one thing. Here's our S on our verb. Wish that box would not pop up. The bell rings. The bell is one thing, so we add an S to our verb. So these right here, this whole group right here, followed this rule right here. When you have a singular subject, one person, one thing, you often add an S to the end of a verb. Now let's look at this one. When the subject is two or more people, places, or things, so now we're looking at the subject, these blue things right here are our subjects, you drop the S at the end of the verb. So you should see the opposite between these two. So let's look. The boys and girls run. So here's our, this is two or more people, so we don't have an S. We drop the S. The stores, this is two or more places, so we drop the S. They, two or more things or people, scratch. Notice there's no S or ES. The cows, a bunch of cows, two or more cows, eat, no S. The bells ring. Here's our S, so there's no S here. Whoops. Let me get that box off of there. We sing in music class. Oh, we as a group of people, so sing would not have an S on it. Okay, so the difference, what you want to remember from this slide is if you have a singular subject, you're going to have an S on your verb. If you have a plural subject, which is more, two or more people, places, or things, you're not going to have an S on your verb. So they're kind of like the opposite. If you have one S, you won't have another S. Can't have two S's. All right, let's try it out. While you read, choose the verb you think fits best. So all you're going to do, and I'm going to have to move this. When you present these slides, sometimes things don't come out the right way. You're going to decide which one you think fits best as you read through these sentences. If you take this out of present mode, you can highlight these. I have it in present mode right now because I'm showing you the slideshow. But if you take it out, you probably won't have yours in present mode when you do it. But this is going to be a slide that you're going to be able to work on. So once you click out of the video, you'll see this slide. You'll be able to work on this slide. You can click here for the answers. And then you'll have a practice. And this actually won't be linked right here. You'll have a practice on another slide. All right. And let me see if I can show you that practice. There's your practice that you'll do. Okay. And so those are the two activities that you'll do for this. Now, if you want to try it out on your own writing, you can go in and just look through your sentences and make sure your subject and verb agree. That's all you have to do for that. Just kind of check your sentences, subject verb agreement. If you read a sentence that's not quite right, check subject verb agreement using the rule below. Okay, so you don't have to rewrite anything. We just want you to go back into your writing and check your sentences. Okay, and that is it for this activity. So all we really, this slide you're going to be able to write on. It's going to be a slide in the deck, and you're going to be able to do this slide too. Okay.